You guys ready for this? Hi, living the dream. How you doing? We are ready for our AMA, our Ask Me Anything, and everything is rocking and rolling on the main feed, and we're going to get right into it. I posted yesterday that I am happy to answer any questions that you have, and we got a lot of good questions here. So we're going to get right into it. Hopefully, I don't sniffle too much, kind of getting over a cold and that sort of a thing. So I'll do my best not to go during this AMA, okay? So we're going to get right into it. And okay, cool. We are ready for our... Just wanted to make sure that that live video was coming through. I shut the volume off on my computer. We are good to go. So let's get right into it. I am going to address the hormone issue first because I got a lot of questions about hormones. Becky Larson was talking about hormones. Heather Sammons was talking about hormones. Judy Fitcha, Diane Dell, Fonda chimed in. Thanks, Fonda. You absolutely rock. And Susan, too. Amazing. We had another hormone question towards the end there by Therese Dunn. All right, so let's start talking about hormones. Before I discuss hormones, I need to make sure that you understand something, and this is a little bit of a liability disclaimer here. I am not an endocrinologist, I'm not a hormonal expert. As a fitness professional, there are certain things that I can do and I cannot do. I absolutely am not allowed legally, by law, to give you recommendations in order to solve or cure hormonal imbalances, whether that's hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's disease, whatever the hormonal imbalances are that you are working with. So that's not my lane. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm not going to give you advice that I am not certified for and I am not trained for. That is not something that I am willing to do. But I will say this, that I've worked with so many people that it's almost mind-boggling. Well over 2,500. Shoot, I might be getting close to 3,000 now. I don't know. I kind of lost count. And since I've worked with such a large number of people, I've seen pretty much everything. I've seen people with hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's disease, Crohn's disease, IBS. I've seen people that I've trained women that are pregnant, pre-pregnancy, post-pregnancy. I've trained women that are 60, 70 years old, and really, men in these scenarios too. Not the pregnant part, but the rest of it. We've trained around injuries, right? So, when you're talking that large of a number of people, chaos theory states that some of those people are going to have some of those issues, right? And I will tell you this, that when I started doing what I'm doing, I had to, and that was back in 2013. It's been almost 6 years since I made my first blog post, and about 7 years since I started coaching people. I was coaching people before I really, opened the business and started the blog post. I was just kind of doing it for fun with friends and family and coworkers and that sort of a thing, okay? And in that time frame, when I was first starting this, I made a pact, and it was kind of like an internal pact. I made that pact to myself. I had been studying for about 4 or 5 years on different training protocols, different nutritional protocols, looking at scientific evidence, looking at the research, and trying to figure out what is the clearest, most evidence-based, and most scientific way to go from point A to point B. And I realized that when people came my way, they were going to have specific goals in mind. 3 main goals, really: lose fat, build muscle, or a combination of both, right? And those were going to be the 3 main goals. So those were, I was a classroom teacher before I was a coach, and I always, hey, Michelle, how you doing? Biggie, yeah, B-I-G. But anyways, and I told myself that I will never give somebody a protocol, give somebody a recommendation, tell somebody something that, number 1, I'm not qualified to do, or number 2, will not provide a result every single time it is carried out with consistency and with accuracy. I absolutely could not give someone something I would consider to be a scam, something I would consider to be a gimmick, something I would consider to be, the hot button, hot ticket item. And at the time, everybody was going paleo. It was paleo all over your time feed. Paleo, paleo, paleo. Eat like a caveman. You're not supposed to eat fruit. You're not supposed to eat dairy, right? Humans are the only animals that drink other animals' milk or some shit like that. I don't know. Those people are goofy. But I had to tell myself, like, just because somebody goes paleo doesn't mean that they're going to lose weight. Just because somebody goes keto, and we'll get to keto in a second, I had a keto question. Just because someone goes keto doesn't mean that they're going to lose weight. I had to look, or build muscle, or whatever their goals are. I had to look very, very closely at what will give a guaranteed result to somebody, regardless of situation, regardless of hormones, regardless of past history, regardless of genetics, regardless of what they've tried before. What will give that consistent, repeated, verified result. And that's what I based my programs on. And I did that to myself because I would not be able to sleep at night if I told someone, just go keto, you'll be amazing. Like, and that's not true. And we'll get to keto in a second. Like I said, there are a lot of gray areas, and I didn't want gray areas with the people that came my way, with the clients that came my way. I wanted things to be crystal clear. You do X, and you will get Y. Period. Now, it's up to you to do X, whatever X is, right? And I can help you with that. I can give you best practices with that. I can guide you through that. I can set everything up. I can't make you do that, but I wanted to make sure that if my clients, my students, ex-teacher, right? If my clients and my students were doing the things that I told them to do, they would have the desired result 100% of the time. And after working with close to 3,000 people, that is exactly what has happened. Okay? Regardless of hormones, regardless of size, regardless of genetics, regardless of training history, regardless of age. All of those things are taken into account when I give my clients recommendations. And I have never, out of 3,000-ish people, seen somebody follow my program to a T and not just have their eyes pop out, say, wow, I never thought this was possible. I've been struggling with this for 20 years. My doctor said it wouldn't work. My doctor said this. My doctor said that. I can't tell you how many clients I have had that have had weight issues. They have gone to the doctor. They have talked to their doctor. Their doctor put them on a cardio routine and told them to not eat carbs. Instead, they came to me, and I gave them the disclaimer. I said, I am not a doctor. If you go against your doctor's medical advice, that is on you. I am not held liable. And they go, no, that's fine, Jason. I trust you. And then 6 months later, they go back to the doctor. The doctor says, holy shit, all of your blood lipid panels, everything has improved. Your hormonal balance, your hormonal profiles have improved. Your weight is down 25 pounds. You've lost, or your blood pressure has improved. Your resting heart rate has improved. Everything has, and they've said, you really followed my advice. And then the person goes, yeah, I did. And they come back and they email me and they go, ha ha ha, my doctor thinks I'm doing cardio and I'm doing keto and I'm doing paleo, but I'm not. I'm just following your program. Isn't it amazing? So take that for what it's worth. Fonda chimed in there, and I really appreciate that, Fonda. Thank you so much. She was in a very similar situation, right? The doctor said that she was going to have to lose 1,000 calories. The doctor said she was going to have to do cardio. The doctor said, it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Fonda came, and here we are a year and a half later or so. She's healthier than she's ever been. She's lost 40 plus pounds. She looks and feels amazing. All after a doctor said either, you have to do this, you have to do that. That's not possible. You must do cardio. You must. So take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth. I used to tell my students when I was a classroom teacher at the beginning of the school year, I taught math in the middle school. I told them, there are students in here that frickin' love math. I'm kind of one of those geeks, right? I love math, love pre-algebra, love algebra. I think it's so interesting. It's black and white. It's right there for you. And I tell these students, there's people in here that are going to love math. Maybe they're natural math students. They love figuring out the puzzle. They find it interesting. They find it fun. And there are people that look at all those letters and numbers and negative signs, and it's Greek to them. And I tell them, no matter what stage of the game you are in, no matter if you think math, if you go, yes, I can't wait to get to math, or you go, oh my God, I just want to bury my head in a hooded sweatshirt and not pay attention, I hate math, no matter where you're in, if you work on the things I ask you to work on as hard as you can, you will get a good grade in this class. You will not fail. You'll get an A, a B, or a C. You'll probably get an A or a B, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work. You want to be good at something, you have to do the work. You want to be good, hey, how you doing there? Juicy! Trig. SOHCAHTOA, right? That lovely Native American woman, SOHCAHTOA. We learned all about SOHCAHTOA. But it had to be like that. You work hard, you get the desired result. And out of teaching thousands of kids over 12 years in my career, I could say I have never seen somebody do all the homework, study for all the quizzes, do all the tests, do all the projects, and not get an A, or B, or a C. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And I can say the same thing about fitness. I've never seen somebody follow 100% of the way and not get the desired result. And that's because my programs are science-based, they're evidence-based, they're not fads, they're not gimmicks, they're not scams. They work 100% of the time for 100% of the people that give it 100% of their effort. So take that for what it's worth. All right, so that was the big hormone talk. All right, so we got a couple other things that we need to discuss here. Let's see. James, and James is watching. Awesome, James. Why would a person gain weight when they start weight training, and will the scale begin to move with? James, a few things. You're talking about if you are first starting to train with weights, it's actually pretty common to see a little bit of a weight spike, and there's a lot of different reasons for that. I mean, you're literally putting your muscles through trauma, a trauma and a stimulus that they have not experienced in a very long time. That can come with it some swelling, that can come with it some soreness, some DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, that sort of a thing, and your body's basically going to go, holy shit, what the fuck? Sorry for the bad words. Hopefully you're not listening at work. I should have said NSFW, right? But yeah, it's relatively common to do. Now, do understand, James. Hey, and Julie, how you doing? And Julie, now that you're here, thank you so much for that lovely testimonial on that AMA yesterday. That means the world to me. I worked with Julie for about 2 years. We even got to met her in Las Vegas. Lost 40 plus pounds, stronger than ever before. She actually graduated from our programs and she's off doing a powerlifting program. How proud does that make me? From what she was to powerlifter, 40 pounds down. Hell yeah. Yeah, I hated geometry too, by the way. That was actually one of the reasons that I retired from teaching, is that the principal asked me to teach honors geometry, and I was like, hell no, I'm out of here. So anyways, James, back to your question. It's relatively common to see those sorts of spikes. It's also relatively common when you first start weight training, if you're taking body measurements, to see those body measurement spikes. I've seen that over and over and over again. They do tend to happen in the quads and the biceps for the first month. Very, very common. For whatever reason, something about quads and biceps, I suppose. That should settle down as long as you stay consistent with it. Once your body gets used to the stimulus, that should settle down. And then let's talk for a quick second about the the elephant in the room. Your weight and what happens to your body measurements is going to be determined by your diet. It's not going to be determined by your training. I should clarify. It will get determined by your training, but at a much smaller rate than it will be determined by your diet. And we'll start talking about diet here in a few minutes, okay? So, James, make sure your nutrition is on point. Make sure your calories are on point. Make sure your macronutrients are on point. Stay consistent with it. Keep training as long as you're in a proper deficit. That little spike you saw in the first couple of weeks, it's going to start to come down. You'll lose fat. You'll gain strength. You'll build muscle. You'll feel amazing. So keep at it, my man. Hopefully that calms your nerves there a little bit. I know that can be a little bit, stressful when you start working out. And you think, oh, cool, I'm going to weigh less. And you hop on the scale and you're 3 pounds more. And you're like, ah! Right? Happens to everybody. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? What else we got? I had a bunch of questions. I'm scrolling through the feed right now. Kenneth, you're a Fallout guy? I actually didn't even know that picture was Fallout guy or a Fallout boy. I'm actually not a big comic book fan. I'm one of the very few people. I'm kind of weird in that aspect. I've never read Harry Potter. I've never watched Harry Potter. I've never read Lord of the Rings. I've never watched Lord of the Rings. I've never seen any of the Star Warses. I've seen a couple comic book movies because they're everywhere, but I'm just not a massive fan of them or anything. I thought it was a cool picture though, so 2 cheers for Fallout Boy. All right, let's see. That was just a little goofy question there. What else we got? James, here's another one. What's all the fuss about keto? I'm going to talk about this briefly, and James, I'm also going to give you a link. I wrote an article about how to cure yourself from keto, because we've kind of become known for that as a fitness community. We have loads of people who have tried the keto diet, failed spectacularly at the keto diet, even when they stuck to the keto diet. right? People that were full keto, they were in 100% ketosis, they peed on the strips, they saw the ketones in their urine, and they still weren't losing weight, and so they came to me, and we started to work on some things. A ketogenic diet was first founded by the medical community because they realized that children that were having epileptic seizures in the complete absence of carbohydrates, when the body started to use fat for fuel, those epileptic seizures either were eliminated completely, or they at least reduced in frequency and reduced in intensity. Okay, so that's really how it was discovered. And they also discovered this peculiar little thing: when you stop eating all carbs, which is not surprising, when you stop eating all carbs, you tend to lose weight. And they also took note of that. And then eventually the general public took note of this. Oh my gosh, you can lose weight if you eat no carbs. And it caught on. And, there have been forms of this for a very long time, right? The Atkins diets, low carb diets, ketogenic diets. Gosh, there's even a carnivore diet. Have you guys heard of that one? Oh my God. The carnivore diet is quite literally eat all meat, eat nothing else. I can't imagine what that's going to do long-term to your digestive tract. But anyways, keto, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a scam. It's not a scam. It's definitely, it's kitschy. It's gimmicky. The biggest thing that I want you to realize about keto, everybody loves the keto tagline. Brownie points if you know what the keto tagline is. There's a huge tagline that every keto person selling you a keto cookbook, keto ebook, keto coaching plan, keto regular book. They all use this phrase because it just makes you salivate and want to buy, 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 buy. Anyone know what that is? Burn fat for fuel. Ooh, that sounds so good. I want to burn fat for fuel. And when you hear burn fat for fuel, what's the first thing that comes to mind? You think that means, ooh, I'm going to burn my belly fat, I'm going to burn my arm fat, I'm going to burn my whatever, the body fat. People think that's what it means. Body fat is burned from one thing and one thing only. I don't care if you're doing keto, you're doing paleo, you're doing carnivore, you're doing the blood type diet, the Mediterranean diet. I don't care what diet it is. And that's a calorie deficit. Now, if you're doing keto and you're in a calorie deficit, great. Some people say keto diets help compliance. And the reason they help compliance is because in the complete absence of carbohydrates, your blood sugar is going to tend to lower. And since it lowers, you don't get those wild swings. You don't feel like crap and then feel good and feel like crap and then feel good. And that it kind of blunts the hunger signals in the body. And because it blunts the hunger signals, they find it easier to stick to the diet. That could be a potential keto benefit. Okay? But people just think, oh, cool, keto, I just don't eat carbs. I go into ketosis and I'm going to lose loads of fat via magic. No, it's not magic. It's an inadvertent and indirect way of creating a calorie deficit. A true ketogenic diet is very, very high in fat, very high in fat. And these nutritionists and dietitians and fitness coaches and doctors are just starting now to kind of rail against this because they have loads of clients. Since this keto diet is so popular, they have loads of patients and clients that are coming in and their blood panels are whacked. And I mean whacked like their blood panels have aged 30 years and 6 months. No diet is worth that. No diet is worth that. Not to mention the fact that it's very restrictive. Obviously, it's very restrictive. You get like small servings of some fibrous vegetables per day, and that's it. If you're doing a truly keto diet, I mean, you're going to have to be like drinking heavy cream, practically eating butter at times. I wouldn't go there. So anyways, James, that's the keto diet. It's the flavor of the week, brother. That's all it is. The flavor of the week. These things, they happen. They happen a lot. And true story, before it was called keto and it was really, really popular, I tried the zero carb diet. I tried it back in 2011 for like 5 months. It was great for like 2 months. Man, I was losing fat. I was feeling so good until at the age of 31, my libido tanked. I mean my libido tanked, not to get personal, but I had zero desire for sex as a 31-year-old male who was weight training religiously with a smoking hot wife. I didn't care. I had no libido. Gone. Like it was nuts. My energy levels were shot. I could barely stand up in front of the classroom to teach. My workouts took a massive nosedive. Strength loss like nobody's business. I'm sure I lost muscle. So after about 4 or 5 months, and it was hard to break out of that. For like 2 months, it was wonderful. Pounds were flying off of me. Strength was going up. I was feeling amazing. Then I like hit this wall, and it was like, what the hell is going on? And it's like the sunk cost fallacy a little bit. I had devoted and invested so much time and effort and energy into this new lifestyle, this new zero carb lifestyle, that it was hard to break out of that thinking. It had worked so well. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'8". I had lost like 30 or 40 pounds in like 3 or 4 months. And I had to go, okay, hold on. Is it the carbs that cause that? Is it the insulin that cause that? Is it the calories that cause that? Is it the macros? What caused that? And this is the difficult part, and this is what people tend to not do. There's so many variables in your lifestyle and with fitness and with nutrition that they go on keto and they end up losing some weight for a week, and they go, yes, I have found the only thing that works for me. No, there's a zillion variables to look at. It's not the only thing that works for you. So there's some keto thoughts. And like I said there, James, I'll give you the link to how to cure yourself from keto, because there's some very specific processes and steps that you want to follow. And Julie, that's a really good point there. Keto, right? True keto is not high protein. Not. True keto is extremely high fat, very low carb, and very moderate protein. So for women on keto, you're probably looking at about 40 grams to 50 grams of protein per day, which is not a ton. That's not a ton. And so a lot of people will go, oh, I'm going to go keto. I'll just eat zero carb. And then they eat like all this meat. Well, when you eat a lot of meat, when you eat a lot of protein, that spikes your insulin, not to the same extent that carbohydrates do, but it still spikes your insulin and it kicks you out of ketosis. That's not actually keto. And it's a massive mistake that people make, because the purpose is to get into ketosis. And after like 3 or 4 days of zero carbohydrates, your body needs energy somewhere. So what it does is it flips off getting the energy from the carbohydrates, and it starts getting the energy from the dietary fat, circling back there to that whole burn fat for fuel. Keto burns dietary fat for fuel, the fat that you eat for fuel. That's why the fat content is sky high. The only way it burns body fat for fuel is if you're in a calorie deficit. If you're not in a calorie deficit, it ain't gonna work. Okay? All right, let's see. Good questions here. Brenda says, weight training to lose belly fat in menopause. Kind of a question. Okay, here you go. Your diet is going to cause your belly fat to be lost. Your training is not. Okay? One of the absolute best things that you can do is, if you want to lose belly fat, and this goes for any trouble area, thunder thighs, chicken wings, man boobs, love handles, call it what you want to call it. You want to lose that fat. Okay? It's not going to be the exercise usually that's going to do it. It's going to be pinpointing the diet. And the reason that I say usually, okay, is because, CICO, calories in, calories out, it has 2 different parts of that equation. We can control the food that's coming into our body, or we can control the exercise that we do going out. The exercise we do going out, if we're trying to estimate how many calories that we burned while we are in the weight room or in the gym or running or whatever, if we're trying to do that, that's a fool's errand. It's almost impossible to do accurately unless you are going to go to a metabolic ward and they're going to strap one of those things with the tubes and it's connected to the computer, and you're going to wear that for your entire workout every single time you work out. That's the only way you'll even get close to an accurate measurement. I don't care if you're wearing a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or a Garmin, or I don't care if the treadmill says you burn this many calories, or the elliptical says that, or the Stairmaster says that, or you read on the internet it says it. It doesn't matter. They're inaccurate. The metabolism is an ever-changing dynamic thing. Your metabolism can vary wildly based on your activity level, and it's impossible to pinpoint that number. It would be trying to go out and shoot a cheetah with a rifle. Damn near impossible. You ain't gonna be able to do it. Okay, so But your diet, yeah, you can control that. It still probably won't be perfect because there's always going to be slight variations in packaging and nutritional labels and that sort of a thing. But you can get within 5 or 10% of your daily calories, and you can tackle things on that. Now, all of those specific body parts that we were talking about, they will all lean down with time, patience, and dedication to a consistent calorie deficit. Okay. Not only that, but many people will. I see these 30-day crunch challenge, 30-day plank challenge, 30-day ab challenges, right? And why is that? Because they're very popular, and one of the reasons that they're very popular is because people think, oh, my midsection is big, I need to do crunches, right? That's what they think. That's their very first thought. I need to do crunches. I saw a guy just yesterday at the gym. I really wanted to go over and talk to him and go, hey man, come on dude, there's a better way to do that. He had a big old belly and he had his feet underneath the treadmill. He had his feet underneath the treadmill. He's doing sit-up. And so he's just killing himself. And I'm like, I felt bad. I was like, I should go talk to him. But you know how people are in the gym. Like, I've tried to give people advice before and they bite my head off and tell me to F off. So I'm like, never mind, so I just let it go. But I'm like, dude, that's not going to do anything. You could literally wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and start doing crunches and do them until 11 o'clock at night and only take breaks to use the restroom and eat food. If you're not in a calorie deficit, your belly will not get smaller. As a matter of fact, it might get bigger. It might get bigger. And the reason it's going to get bigger is because, think about what happens if you decide that you're going to do hours of bicep curls every day. Will your biceps get bigger? Well, yeah, of course they will. You're building muscle in your biceps. Your abdomen is a series of muscles. If you're going to train them directly day in and day out, guess what's going to happen? You're going to gain muscle and your abdomen is going to get thicker, So what's my advice for you? Weight training to lose belly fat in menopause? Be ruthless, Brenda, about your diet. Ruthless. Hit the numbers as spot on as you can every single day. Get stronger in the main compound movements. Squats of all sorts, deadlifts of all sorts, bench press of all sorts, shoulder presses. You can throw in some extra stuff, right? If you like to do some isolation movements, some curls, some triceps, that sort of a thing. But get stronger, methodically stronger to keep and maintain the muscle that you have and boost your metabolism over time. And nail the diet to slowly whittle away the fat. That is the only way to do it. And this is the reason why most people, not most people that join me for coaching, but most people how many people, let me ask a question, a poll. Out of everyone who says, I want to lose belly fat, and good Lord, that's probably 97% of Americans anyways. How many, as a percentage of those people, do you think will ever accomplish that goal in their life? I'm curious to see what you say. Right now, I got 11 people watching right now. What percent do you think will ever actually accomplish that and lean all the way down? What do you think? Give it a guess. I know there's a little lag here. Nobody's going to toss a guess out there? Come on, you guys are killing me. Okay, Karen, 10%? Okay. Yeah. I could go with that. Yeah, Sherry just, smart minds think alike. Karen and Sherry both said about 10%, maybe. Yeah, maybe less. Think about that. Yeah. And Julie, honestly, if someone said gun to the head, 10% or 1%, what would you go with? I'd say 1%. Like, almost nobody. And the reason is because of all the misinformation that's out there, all of the BS that's out there, all of the nonsense that's out there, all of the eat these 5 foods to shred your belly fat, all of these do these 7 exercises to get a lean stomach. Sorry, I'm getting a little heated. They're nonsense. They're people trying to get clicks. They're people trying to sell ebooks. That's all it is. That's all it is. There is one way to lose your belly fat or your thunder thighs or chicken arms or man boobs or whatever, and it is be in a consistent calorie deficit and be patient over time. My system, my programs have 2 main components, lots of details, but 2 main components. Hit the macros, do the workouts, and improve and get stronger each workout. That's really it. It's really it. And I say, the workouts are there to maintain and build muscle, improve your metabolism, increase your strength, and make you feel amazing. The diet is there to lose the fat. Okay? Don't get those two things separated. Do them both at the same time, but they have distinct and individual purposes. So make sure that you realize that you want to lose that belly fat. Crush the diet with ruthless consistency day in and day out, and exactly that will happen. Okay, so awesome. BJ says squats and deadlifts after a lower back injury. I will say I am not a physical therapist, so I'm not going to necessarily give you this here is how you build that back up kind of a thing. Okay, but I will say that I've seen many people with back injuries. I do not know your situation specifically. I have not talked to you or talked to your doctor, so that is something to talk about. I have seen time and time again people that were told to never squat again, never deadlift again. The doctors say no. But as long as the people start really light, and I mean really light, I mean like 5-pound dumbbells, and work their way up to the barbell, and then slowly start to add weight to the barbell on either squats or deadlifts, and they show full range of motion, perfect form. They never push to the point of being hurt, of soreness. They keep it lighter. They stop trying to be the dude pulling 700 pounds in the gym, and they start really feeling the muscle, working on the form, getting that full range of motion, working on flexibility. And they've built their back and their posterior chain up over time. I did shave my beard, Judy. 2 days ago, just got sick of it. And now they are pain-free, and they have a stronger back than ever before. Deadlifts and squats do not hurt your back. Deadlifts and squats hurt your back when you're doing them with improper form or with too much weight. As a matter of fact, the opposite is true. I remember before I started squatting or deadlifting, when I was just a young buck, wet behind the ears, fresh out of university as a teacher, at the end of the day, my lower back would hurt. It'd be sore just from standing there and talking. After I started training, my lower back never, ever hurts anymore. No matter what, I can do pretty much anything I want. I never have that lower back soreness. It will strengthen you, make you more resilient. BJ, and I'll also say this, and I'll leave this at the end here. There's no reason you have to squat and deadlift. I haven't pulled from the floor in probably 3 years. I do some deadlift variations because it's important to keep your back strong. It's important to keep your glutes and your hamstrings strong, your hips strong. So I'll do RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. I will do dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. Those are really my two favorite, those versions of deadlifts. But I don't pull from the floor anymore. It was giving me lots of hip issues, lots of hip trouble. I'm 6'8", got big long hips. It just wasn't worth it. It's not going to provide me the benefit unless my desire is to become a power lifter and hit the platform and get your 3 green lights and get your trophy. Unless that is your goal, I mean, there's no reason for it. You can develop a beautiful, wonderful, healthy, lean, trim, amazing, muscular physique without doing squats or deadlifts, right? There's a million different variations. I mean, I do leg presses, leg extensions, leg curls. I do goblet squats, lunges, walking lunges, step ups. I do all of those things, and I'll tell you what, I've actually, since I stopped squatting and started focusing on all those like lower weight, higher repetition, higher frequency, more times per week, my legs have gained more muscle than they ever did with squatting. So, and I was never an elite squatter with my size and my body proportions. It's kind of tricky. I'm 6'8", super long legs, but I had squats in the mid 300s, and I grew better muscle, more leg muscle and leg mass from eliminating squatting and going another route. John Acosta says, how do I set individual nutrition? This is a great question. How do I set individual nutrition? Well, I'll tell you. When I very first started, I would use complex formulas that I found. There's a bunch of them. The McArdle formula, the Catch McArdle. There's a few different formulas out there, big mathematical formulas. I actually forget the names because I haven't used them in years. I used to use them at the very beginning with clients. But what I do, quite frankly, is this. I'm going to estimate your daily calorie maintenance based on your age, your height, your weight, your gender, your activity level, and your training history. So I'm going to estimate how many calories you require each day. I'm going to take a look at what would be a sustainable diet for you. right? If you are an extremely petite woman, and you are older especially, a sustainable diet might only be a half a pound of fat loss per week. Because your calorie requirements are so much lower. You might have a calorie maintenance of 1,500, 1,600 calories per day at the most. So giving you a 500 calorie deficit, which would give you a pound of fat loss per week, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to eat 800 calories. So I can't do that. So, but then again, a guy like me, 6'8", 240 pounds, a 3,000 calorie maintenance, I can eat 2,000 calories per day, have a 1,000 calorie deficit, lose 2 pounds of fat per week. And it's very sustainable and it's very doable. So it varies based on the person. So I'm going to figure out what a sustainable amount of fat loss for you will be to reduce hunger as much as possible, give you energy, allow you to get done with your workouts, power through them, gain strength and all that stuff, and still allow you to lose fat. So it's a tricky little balance that you got going on there. After I figure out how many calories per day you need, I'm going to split those up into macronutrients for you, protein, carbohydrates, and fats. I'm going to make sure that you're taking in enough protein to preserve and or build your muscle. I'm going to make sure that you have enough fat in your system to optimize your hormonal profile during the diet. That's one of fat's, other than tasting delicious, that's one of fat's best uses, is it helps to regulate your hormonal profile, and I'm going to make sure that you have enough carbohydrates. Yes. Carbs to recover properly, power through your workouts, and give you adequate energy. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? Now, this varies based on a zillion different things, so I can't tell you exactly how it would look. I would need to crunch the numbers and take a look at it. But all the fancy equations in the world don't mean squat without practical and real-world application. When I very first started doing this, I was using fancy equations. As the years progressed, and I saw more and more people that fit into various categories or various avatars, whatever those categories and avatars are, eventually I didn't need that anymore. Because I worked with so many people that all I had to do was take a glance at a person's lifestyle, like I said, gender, age, height, weight, training preference, training history, lifestyle, whether they're sedentary or right? I can just look at it and I go, because I had internalized, I worked with so many people that I had internalized those things. When I was first working out, I was pretty accurate with my recommendations. At this point, probably 99.9% accurate. And I know that might sound cocky, but that's just confidence. I've worked with that many people. That's practically a calculator. Like it will pinpoint, like here, do this. And there are very few exceptions to the rule. There are still exceptions to the rule. Every once in a while, we'll have to make adjustments and stuff. But, that's why you hire a coach, so that a coach can make those adjustments and get you back on the right path and take care of business. I'm not infallible or anything. I'm not Jesus. But at the same time, or Muhammad or Allah or, Yahweh or whoever the heck you pray to, or, never mind. But anyway, so there you go. A load of real-world experience goes into those recommendations. What's an ideal home gym setup? Jonathan, the ideal home gym setup is something that allows you to get a good workout in, push your muscles adequately, make progress, get stronger, and stay consistent. It sounds like you have a great setup. I have loads of clients that literally have a pair of adjustable dumbbells and an adjustable weight bench. I tailor all of my workouts so that they can be done with the appropriate substitutions, because there's a lot of people with that setup. That's really all you need. But you have more than enough. It's wonderful, dude. Let's see. Oh, yeah. He also says, how do I manage all my clients? That's an easy one. I don't sleep. Just kidding. There are systems that have been developed over the last 6 years of working with a lot of people, and I have constantly revamped and constantly tinkered those systems. I keep my one-on-one client roster list extremely small, 20 people or under. I currently have 19. I got room for one more, but I'm not too stressed about that. I'm sure I'll get one here sooner or later. But I keep my one-on-one client list extremely small. One-on-one client lists have everything 100% hand-created for them. I reach out to them. I hold them accountable. We troubleshoot stuff constantly. So I make sure that I keep that list really, really small to provide the absolute best customer service, best accountability, and best experience that I can possibly have. You can ask, you can ask any client, but one-on-one clients especially, when you have a question for me. If I have not logged off for the night and I'm sleeping, you're going to get a response very quickly. And if you send me something after that happens, say it's like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, I'm going to get to it at 8:30 in the morning once I turn my computer on. And that actually leads right into, and how else do I manage the clients? I have a training app that I got, a year and a half ago or so. It does make it easier for group members. Group members do not have those highly personalized workouts. We can tinker with stuff and make substitutions and adjust them, but I don't hand create them all. That's just due to the large numbers that are in there. So with the workout app, I have clients on different tags. We have loads of different training programs. So there's a tag for each training program that's in there. So I can create a workout, which will take an hour or two to create the workout there, and just with a click of the button, I can send it to 470 people, and that definitely makes things easier, for sure. And a lot of the materials as well that get sent, they get sent via, it's not me hand creating an email every single time. I think my clients understand that, but they get sent through an email service provider, so it will automatically send them those materials in order to take out the bottleneck. When all you have in terms of business, when all you have is a one-on-one business, you are the bottleneck. Eventually you hit a tipping point and you can't do anymore. In 2015, I was hitting that tipping point. I had 77 one-on-one clients, and it was bonkers. It was I would be clearing out my inbox, and as I was clearing out my inbox, it would populate with like 20 more emails. And I'm going, oh my gosh, it was too much. It was a very difficult time period, and I needed to figure out how to make sure that the people that were paying for an elite premium service were getting not only elite premium results, but elite premium customer service. And that really leads into number 2. What sets you apart from other online coaches? That's a big part of it. I don't care if you're paying me $30 a month or $300 a month. I'm going to respond to you quickly in a timely manner, with empathy, with compassion. I'm not really a tough love kind of a guy. I am a straight shooter, but I'm not a tough love kind of a person. I will tell you, if you want to accomplish Y, you need to do X. Okay, now let's talk about how we can get you to do X with more consistency on a regular basis. Fitness is not easy, but it is insanely simple. If you are confused about fitness, you need to join us now, because we can break that confusion away from you and we can make things crystal clear. You do X, you get Y. That's it. Now the goal as the coach, any coach who's not a scrupulous scam artist can explain concepts to you in a simple way. If they can't, they're a crap coach. Stop following them. Get away from them. Okay? Now, but the goal of the coach is to make it dead simple. Do X, you get Y, and then give you the support, the materials, the care, the empathy, the compassion, the whatever, to help you achieve the goal of doing X. Because that's your goal, doing X. Okay? And I think that separates me from other people. I spent 12 years in a classroom. And so I would give these lessons repeatedly. The curriculum is set by the state in Michigan and in every state. And I would give these lessons repeatedly year after year. And every time I would give the lessons, I would go, okay, what worked? What didn't work? What do I need to throw away? What do I need to tinker with? Do I need to introduce a new activity, a new way of thinking, a new mental model? How do I improve my students' internalization, fluency, competency, to give them more confidence and make them a better math student? That was the thought process. Thank you, Terry. Much appreciated. What is the thought process behind improving that lesson? I did that for 12 years. So that kind of comes natural to me. And really, this business, this online business, is just an extension of my classroom. I'm a teacher. I teach fitness. I don't teach math anymore. So that's the kind of mindset that I have going into things. At first, when I first started coaching, I thought to myself, all I need to do is tell them what to do. And then I had the quite obvious realization. It wasn't obvious at the time. I had the quite obvious realization that just because I tell someone to do this doesn't mean they will do it. Same as with the students. I can get up and show them how to do something, but if I'm not sitting there with them, giving them materials, providing different mental models, helping them get through roadblocks, building their self-confidence, giving them the attaboys, the pat on the backs, and the high fives, if I'm not doing that, the odds of success are much, 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 much lower. So that's what I needed to start to do, is to figure out a way to improve that system. I'm always improving that system. This group coaching thing that's going on right now, we opened that up 26 months ago. Woo! That's amazing. We built it from 0 to, I just checked my numbers, 467 people. Let's bust through 500 this weekend. Damn, that would feel awesome. 500 people. But throughout that entire time, I'm constantly revamping, constantly retooling, constantly changing the way I deliver information, the way I give people things, because it's a constant battle to be more successful. And there's not many online fitness coaches out there that are as quick and responsive and helpful as I am. Again, whether you're paying me $30 a month or $300 a month, you're going to get a quick, timely response, and we're going to help you, and we're going to, throw you on the back of the army of greatness, and we're going to do this together, because that's what it's all about. Like, seriously, that's what it's all about. Stephanie Driscoll says, I had some lymphedema in my left arm from having breast cancer. I had lymph nodes removed. Will weightlifting help this arm? I can only do so much with it. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that true story part there. Yes, it will get stronger. It certainly might not ever catch up, or it will take a long time to catch up to the other arm. Is using heavier weights at times harmful? Again, I'm not a physical therapist, so it's a bit out of my lane. I would assume that if you started slow and you slowly added a couple extra pounds each week, and you showed good form, and you made sure that you were using the full range of motion, that yes, it's going to improve. Any musculature, tendons, ligaments, those sorts of things, they are going to improve. How much? That remains to be seen. We can only do what we can do, right? We can take care of the X, we just have to let the Y, we have to let the outcome come where it may. But yes, it will improve. It's going to take some patience, it's going to take some diligence, it's going to take time. Lots and lots and lots of time, okay? So don't worry about it. Take care of things, and you're doing a wonderful job here, Stephanie, okay? Chanel, I already kind of discussed this. Should you work your abs if you're still carrying extra weight there? That's up to you. If your goal is to have strong abs, then sure. If your goal is to lose belly fat, that's not the way to do it. I kind of discussed that earlier here. Number 2, how do you know when it's time to increase the weight? You deadlift 115 pounds. When should I increase? How much do you increase at a time? Once you accomplish it. Once you accomplish it. Now, obviously another quick disclaimer, show good form. Make sure you're taking care of basics. Don't get hurt. Don't lift through pain. But if you go into the gym and you do, let's say you do 115 pounds and you do it 5 times. Okay, that's what you're trying to do. You said, I'm going to get 5 reps, and you got 5 reps. The last one was a little bit of a struggle, but you still crushed it. You still got done with those 5 reps. And the next time you get into the gym, and you're not like, really sore, your lower back isn't in tatters, you're not injured, everything's fine. Maybe you're a little tight. That happens after you work out. It's natural and normal. But you're fine. Then now the next time you go into the gym and you're supposed to deadlift and you have another set of 5, should you stay at that 115? A lot of people go, man, that was really hard. I should stay at 115 until that's not hard. Be prepared to stay at 115 for the rest of your life. Seriously, be prepared to stay at 115 for the rest of your life. Because you're not going to all of a sudden one day go, well, that 115 was easier. Now, if you want to do something like this, you get to those 5 reps, and then you go, next time I'm going to get 6. Next time I'm going to get 7. Next time I'm going to get 8. Next time I'm going to get 9. Next time I'm going to get 10. And then you say, okay, now I'm going to go to 120, and I'll do 5. And then I'll do 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. And then you go to 125, because once you can do 10 reps at 120, now you move back to 5 if you add 5 pounds. It'll be easy. Not easy. It won't be easy. It'll be easier. A little bit more manageable. But there's an old saying in fitness, you know how you make 100 pounds feel light? Work your way up to 200 pounds. Then 100 pounds feel light. You know how you make 200 pounds feel light? Work your way up to 300 pounds. Then 200 pounds feel light. That's the only way to do it. The only way that, if that 115 is at the very top of your strength capacity and you're not going to push yourself past the 115, that 115 will be heavy as shit every single time you try to do it. But if you get to 120 and 125 and 130 and 135 and 140 and 145, pretty soon you go back to that 115 and you go, oh shit, that's light. That's the way that works. Okay. Also, unless you are hurt, unless you are injured, unless there's some big issue, you're sick or something, don't lower the weight because you don't get the reps. I had this conversation with a one-on-one client a couple of days ago. She was doing sets of 5. I'm in video mode, so I forget what exercise it was, but she was doing sets of 5, and I had her moving up 5 pounds, moving up 5 pounds, moving up 5 pounds, and she moved up 5 pounds, and she got like 4 and 3 and 2, and she's like, all right, I need to drop. She says to me, I need to drop back in weight. I said, no, you don't. Just keep the weight the same. But what do you mean? What do you mean? I only got 4 and 3 and 2. I need to drop down in weight. No, you don't. Next time, try to get 5 and 4 and 3. And then at the time after that, try to get 5 and 5 and 4. And the time after that, try to get 5 and 5 and 5. And once you get 5 and 5 and 5, you move up. That's the way that it works. Okay? Think about this. Do you think that gaining 50 pounds on your squat in a year is going to make your body look differently? You think? Hell yeah, it is. Are you kidding me? That's a massive strength accumulation. You know what that boils down to? Less than a pound of increase a week. That's 10 5-pound increases in a year. That's like every 5 weeks you go up 5 pounds. That seems so slow, doesn't it? Welcome to the world of weightlifting. That's the way that works, okay? 50 pounds over a year, tremendous accomplishment. But it happens 5 pounds at a time. And that's the answer to your second question there. How much do you increase at a time? The lowest possible amount, usually 5 pounds. Sometimes 2.5 pounds, but not many gyms will have. For a 2.5 pound, you need, 1.125s on each side. Not many gyms have those. You'd have to buy those separately. Okay. I think that's it. Anybody else have any questions? If you do, speak now or forever hold your peace. Thank you, everybody, for listening in here. Now, I will make sure that you guys understand that I do have an open enrollment. It's the last open enrollment that we are going to have until September. So, real long time here. And it ends Sunday night at midnight. And we can take care of all of this stuff and make sure that, this AMA, any question that you could possibly ever have will get answered quickly, in a hurry, and you will remember that whole, I wanted to make sure that my clients, as long as they did the X that I told them, they would get the Y result. If you want that, you can have it. Now, free will is a biatch, so I can't force you to do anything, but what I can do is give you a proper path. There it is. Follow it. You accomplish your goals if you do. Period. Point blank. 3,000 plus people. Never seen someone go all in and not get the desired result. Have I seen people join, not do shit, and then not get any results? Of course. It's free will. Right? I can send you emails, I can send you lessons, I can send you workouts, I can send you an app, I can give you access to our community, I can give you my email address, I can send you voicemails, I can talk to you on the phone, but I can't physically show up at your house, grab your ear and say, get into the gym, bucko, or I can't do that. Okay? But, I can provide, if you are like, I'm tired of this frustration, I'm tired of not knowing what to do, if you gave me a blueprint, Jason, I would follow it and I would crush it. Fuck yeah, let's do it. Have a great day.